In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 dietary supplements that research has shown can be part of a healthy diet for young athletes. So this is a dialogue between myself and Don Hooten Jr., who is the head of the Taylor Hooten Foundation, and he travels the country with his team educating schools about the harms and dangers of performance and appearance-enhancing drugs. So let's talk about some of the more safe and well-researched supplements that are on the market today for young athletes. Before you take any dietary supplement, be sure to check with your family physician or a dietitian to make sure it's safe, specifically for you or those in your family. All right, so Don, let's jump into it. Creatine, this one that parents and athletes hear a lot about. I've taken creatine in my career. Lots of high-level athletes have. But what do young people and their parents and coaches need to know about creatine?
It's a great question, one that we get all the time. Creatine is one of those dietary supplements that is the most highly researched dietary supplement on the planet. It's safe if it's used correctly and in the proper doses, but like we always like to tell people, always speak with a family physician first and make sure that you're purchasing products that are third-party certified. Monohydrate is the best in about 5-gram doses. And creatine is great for muscle recovery and explosive movement like sprinting.
And that's one of these substances, like creatine is in steak, right? It's a naturally occurring thing. And like you said, creatine is like one of the most researched substances in history. The consensus is what? That it's a generally regarded as safe thing. And like you said, parents, you still need to check. Kids, you still need to check if there's something right for you. We're not going to make any recommendations about what you should take, but this is one that's been really researched and generally regarded as safe.
You're absolutely right. And it is in meats, proteins. It's already in our body. The big thing is you would have to eat huge amounts of protein in order to spike creatine level, right? So it just makes it a whole lot easier to take it in, in a 5-gram powder form, mix it with some water, or your favorite juice or whatever, and consume it that way.
Okay, so next one, whey protein. Big one, everyone's heard of protein. Tons of parents are sending their kids to school with protein bars. Obviously, it's harder. You can't pack, tuna fish every day, cooking meat and carrying it around and that's one of the challenges. So what's the deal with whey protein?
So protein's great. Obviously, it helps fuel our muscles. We need it to recover, for strength, all of those things. And in a perfect world, you would be able to eat 6-8 times a day to consume the amount of protein that you need. Now, a registered dietitian would tell you need about 1 gram of protein per pound. So if you're 200 pounds, you need 200 grams of protein a day on an active day. Now, trying to eat and consume as a high school athlete, 200 grams of protein a day is nearly impossible. So you'll see a lot of people supplementing protein powder, whether that's whey or whether that's casein, mixing that powder in a smoothie, putting it in a blender bottle and allowing them to mix it with some water during school. Those are great ways to consume it. It's easy on the stomach. It doesn't really fill you up to where if you're getting ready to play a game, it's great to have, right after a post-recovery workout or even after post-game to consume that protein powder that way. But definitely would need it in lieu of food just because it's hard to eat 200 grams of protein a day in food.
Yeah, and as a side, parents, send your kids with powder if this is something that you're interested in them taking, because the ready-to-drink ones, they're convenient, but they're expensive. And they often mix a lot of other stuff in there. And for me personally, I always just choose to buy the big bag of whey protein. And I look for, and Don, I know you're an advocate of this as well, is looking for a certification seal like NSF for Sport or one of these where then you're getting third-party testing, which helps you know exactly what's inside of it, because a lot of these supplements are not regulated by the FDA in the same way that other food products is. That's right?
That's absolutely correct. So due to this lack of regulation within the dietary supplement industry, the only way for us to know as consumers what we're actually purchasing and putting in our body that's on the label of that product is to make sure you're buying products that are third-party certified. And NSF Certified for Sport is the gold standard when it comes to third-party certification. So organizations like Major League Baseball would require any dietary supplement in the clubhouse to be NSF certified, 1, for label verification, but 2, most importantly, that it's free of over 280 banned substances.
And then fish oil. This is one that I take pretty much every morning. Again, that's my supplement routine. Doesn't mean it's right for everyone, not a recommendation, but fish oil, there's a lot of research on it. Don, what does it say? And what are your takes for athletes?
Yeah, personally, I take a fish oil every day. As Americans, we're omega-3 deficient. We just don't eat fish like some of our Asian counterparts. So taking a good quality fish oil every day is really good to help bring up those omega-3 levels in our body. So it helps lower blood pressure, it reduces inflammation in the body, and it also feeds our brain. So a lot of really good research behind fish oil. So if you're not eating a ton of fish, it's a great way to get those omega-3s.
Yeah, and for me, as someone who had, you can see my elbow scar, I had Tommy John surgery twice. Nutrition was really important for me in my recovery. Like I wanted to make sure I gave my body all the building blocks that it had. That meant tons of fruits and vegetables, nuts, tons of protein, but also fish oil. Like I read the research when I was in college and in pro ball, like going back through these recoveries, and if fish oil might help me reduce inflammation as I was, my body is trying to heal itself, then that was something that I wanted.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fish oil products on the market, so I wouldn't suggest or even recommend going out buying the cheapest fish oil that you can purchase.
That's a good point.
Simply because there's a lot of fillers and everything, what have you in there. So please do your research, and again, like any other dietary supplement, be sure you're purchasing something, especially if it's for your young person, that it's third-party certified.
Lastly, multivitamins. So there's actually been a lot of articles recently, like, are multivitamins useful? Are they not useful? Are they good? There's been a lot of back and forth that's been interesting. And obviously, like, human nutrition is more complex than just like, take these 15 vitamins, right? Like there's still like tons of stuff we don't know about, just these compounds in plants, the vegetables that we eat that are really important to human health that we don't necessarily can distill into a vitamin yet. But multivitamins probably have a place in a lot of people's diets. Don, what's your take here?
So, if we lived in a perfect world, you would get all the nutrients and vitamins that you need through your daily diet. But again, we don't live in a perfect world. Lots of us skip breakfast, or, we're not taking in the majority of our calories till later in the day. So a good multivitamin every morning, will help boost those nutrients and the vitamins that we're lacking in our bodies each day to help with things like recovery, sickness, lowering stress levels. It helps improve memory. So there's a lot of really good research behind them, and just something, I've heard sports dietitians worldwide, dietitians that work with some of the best pro athletes in the world, recommending a good multivitamin.
Hey, Don, so what are your takeaways here, and what should sports parents be, overall looking for in helping their kids be at their nutritional best?
So the first thing we would always recommend before diving into any of this is we have to be very careful with how we word things with our young people. For example, suggesting a specific body type or changing their physical appearance, or as athletes, it's often we say things like, you need to get bigger, stronger, and faster. And that's been said for hundreds of years, but we live in a world now where information, good or bad, is available at our young people's fingertips. So if you're going to recommend a dietary supplement, highly recommend first talking with a family physician just to ensure there's no ingredients in that dietary supplement that might interact with your young person's current prescription they might or might not be taking. The other thing is obviously to ask your young people why they want to take creatine or why do they want to take protein. If you have the means, I would highly recommend speaking with a nutritionist or a sports dietitian, somebody that is an expert in this world of nutrition, to help analyze your young person's daily diet and their workout regimen, and to see what products would be best for your young person. And if you need any help with any of those resources, you can always stop by our website or contact us.
If you're interested in having Don Hooten and his organization out to your school, if you're a coach or an AD, they do amazing presentations helping to educate families about the potential dangers of performance and appearance enhancing drugs. It's a really important topic, so definitely check them out. You'll find links to all of Don's social media, his website, and how to book one of those talks in the description below.